I never thought my family would end up like this, terrified, desperate, and fighting to keep my dad alive. But it all began with a single, fateful decision. A few months ago, we were on the brink of losing everything. My dad's construction business had gone under, and the bills piled up faster than we could pay them. I could hear my parents arguing in the middle of the night, their whispers tinged with fear and frustration. I tried not to listen, but it was impossible to block out the tension. One evening, while I was doing homework at the kitchen table, there was a knock at the door. My dad answered, and I heard a raspy, almost unnatural voice. Curiosity got the better of me, and I peeked around the corner. Standing in the doorway was an old woman, hunched and wrapped in layers of worn, mismatched fabric. Her eyes were piercing, almost glowing in the dim porch light. She claimed to know our struggles and offered to help. My dad, ever the skeptic, was about to shut the door, but the woman held out a small, ornate jar. "Wealth beyond measure," she whispered, her words slow and deliberate, "but every gift has its price." Desperation flashed across my dad's face. He hesitated, then took the jar. The woman smiled, her cracked lips curling up in a way that made my stomach churn. Without another word, she turned and vanished into the night, leaving my dad clutching the jar with a mixture of hope and doubt. The very next morning, we woke up to find stacks of cash piled neatly on our kitchen table. At first, my dad thought it was some kind of prank, but as more money kept appearing day after day, our lives transformed. Bills were paid, our house got repaired, and my parents smiled again for the first time in months. It felt too good to be true. Then the nightmares began. My dad would wake up drenched in sweat, swearing that he saw a shadow standing over him. He grew paranoid, constantly looking over his shoulder. One night, I heard him muttering in his sleep, begging someone to leave him alone. The breaking point came when I saw her, the old woman, standing at the foot of my parents' bed, whispering something I couldn't make out. When I turned on the light, she was gone, but my dad's breathing was ragged, his face pale as death. Desperate for answers, I started digging into local legends and found a story about a witch who once lived on the outskirts of town. According to the tale, she made deals, granting wealth in exchange for something precious, usually a soul. The description of her lair matched an abandoned cottage deep in the woods. Fearing for my dad's life, I convinced my mom to help me find the cottage. We trekked through the forest, fear gnawing at us with every step. When we finally reached the place, the air was heavy with decay and strange symbols covered the walls. In a back room, we found my dad, standing motionless, eyes unfocused, as the witch wove a glowing thread around him. I screamed at her to stop, but she just grinned, her voice hissing like steam. "A deal is a deal," she croaked. In a panic, I snatched the jar from my bag and smashed it on the ground. The coins scattered, and the witch let out a shriek, her figure flickering like a dying flame before vanishing. My dad collapsed, gasping for air. The money was gone. The riches vanished as if they'd never existed. But we didn't care. We still had him. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear faint whispers outside my window, reminding me that no gift comes without a price. In the weeks that followed, my dad never fully recovered. He spoke little, his eyes often darting around the room as if he could still see the witch lurking in the shadows. My mom and I did our best to support him, but it was as if a part of his soul never made it back from that night. One night, I was awoken by the sound of footsteps in the hallway. I crept out of my room to find my dad standing at the front door, talking to someone who wasn't there. His voice was soft and pleading, as if begging for something. When I touched his shoulder, he snapped out of it, looking at me with wide, terrified eyes. "She's not gone," he whispered. "She's still here, waiting." The next morning, I found a single gold coin on the kitchen counter. We had destroyed the jar, but somehow the curse remained. I couldn't help but wonder if the witch had claimed more of my dad than we realized. That coin was just the beginning. Proof that some deals can never truly be broken.